Question 3 deals with 2-officer cars. So I realize there's not a lot of agencies that have the luxury of having 2 officers in a car unless you're dealing with a training officer and a recruit. However, we're not talking about that. We're talking about 2 solo performing officers assigned to 1 car. There are still departments out there who have 2-officer cars, so we're going to work through this calculation. So at the end of this, we're going to have our on-duty positions. So we're going from units, which is a container or the patrol car, to on-duty positions, which are people. So how many people does it take to fill the patrol cars? And your answer for on-duty positions has to be higher because we have a certain number of our units that have 2 officers in them. So question 3A is we're going to calculate the number of 2-officer cars. And we are given a table, depending upon our L group, it's going to have a percentage of your 2-officer units. As I'm in L group 2, again, L group is based on the first initial of your last name. So L group 2, my percentage is 1/3 or 33.3% of my units are 2-officer cars. So the easiest way to work through this is to do this with a table, and this just ensures that your process is good and that you don't skip any steps. So I have 0.33, that's my percentage of 2-officer cars, times my total number of units, which I calculated as 20. The remaining percentage, the 0.67, those are 1-officer cars. So let's focus on the 0.33 times 20 is 6.6, and rounding matters here. So 6.6, mathematically, I would round that up to 7. So I have 7 units that are filled with 2 officers in it. So I multiply my 7 units times the 2 officers, and I come up with 14 officers in 2-officer cars. The remaining percentage, the 0.67, again, these are 1-officer cars. So I come up with 13.4. And I have to ensure that these 2 numbers, when added, don't exceed or go under my total number of units available, which is 20. So 7 plus 13, that's my 20 units. These are 1-officer cars, so not much multiplication there, but I just want to show the process. 13 times 1 is 13 officers in 1-officer cars. So that's the calculation to determine how many 2-officer cars you have. Question 3B is simply asking you to calculate the total number of on-duty positions. So all you're going to do is you're going to add up the number of officers in the 2-officer cars and the number of officers in the 1-officer cars. You add those 2 numbers together, and that's your total on-duty positions. So when I add 14 plus 13 together, I have 27 on-duty positions. I had 20 units, so I had 20 cars, but it takes 27 people or positions to fill those cars.